Hey guys, I bet you're wondering why you are looking at a newspaper. It's because we are going to repurpose an old t-shirt. So I literally have this t-shirt sitting in my extra fabric bucket. Okay. What we're going to do is we'll take the t-shirt and lay it out. Now, the shirt that I showed you at the beginning of this video, I did not use a template for that shirt because it's not always necessary. And that shirt will probably be used for groceries because I tear up a lot of grocery bags that you buy at the store. And since I do tear up a lot of grocery bags, it's best if I just make my own. They last longer and I can put more stuff in them, which is what I totally need anyway. Okay, so on the shirt that I showed you in the pictures, the shirt slash bag, what I did was I measured, because it was a dress shirt, I measured from the seam here where your sleeve meets the actual shirt itself. I went 2 inches in this way. Okay, so obviously I can't do that with this shirt, but I went in 2 inches, and then also from the same measuring point I went over 6 inches, and then that's where I started to cut. Okay, you can always make your own t-shirt template out of just some newspaper or whatever big paper you have laying around. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is show you guys how to do your template. I think that the sleeve area here is nice and wide. So since that's nice and wide, I really would like to mimic that. So to mimic it, all you would have to do, and this is just so you can make several bags that are the same size. You don't necessarily have to make a template. I'll mark here, and I'll mark here, okay? And then I'll do the same thing on this side. Here and here. That way I'll know where to cut. And then you'll cut down as far as you want to cut down. Imagine how much space you want for your arm on the sleeve of your bag. Now these bags can be used for groceries. You can carry them around like a purse. They can be eco-friendly baby bags. They can also be eco-friendly trick-or-treat bags, which is perfect because Halloween is right around the corner. This bag, I'm really not sure what it's going to be. I have a daughter that loves pink, and this is kind of a salmon, so I figure close enough she'll probably carry this bag. One of them will. So you go ahead, and when making your template, you see where I made my marks here, right? Now you see how the shirt kind of curves? You're going to mimic that same exact curve. Best way to do that is to use your shirt as a guide. So you're just going to bring this down. See, I kind of bows in a little bit. And you can freely draw this yourself. Or you can be all technical and measure it. That's always acceptable. But me, myself, I'll probably just freehand it because it really doesn't matter to me. I really don't think a project like this should be so technical. But see, if you fold it really close to the seam, then you can kind of get a good angle on it yourself. Also, another thing that you'll want to do is, if you have like the wife beater, is what they typically call this shirt. But if you have a wife beater, they work even better because all you have to do is sew up the bottom of them, and you've got your bag. So keep that in mind. That was a really ugly line, but since I'm the one sewing it, I'll know exactly what I mean. I'll know how to follow it easily. But yeah, so this is what you'll do for your template. I'll go ahead and finish drawing the template and get this cut out, and we'll go ahead and start working on the shirt. Okay, so my template was not drawn very pretty, but when I cut it out, I do better. So this is my template. You can make yours the same way I did mine, or like I said, you can do it without a template. I did the blue bag without a template. I don't personally like to use a template. And that could be, you know, my whole issue with rules thing. But okay, so should you decide to use the template, let me show you how you would do this. Alright. You just lay your shirt out. I drew on the shirt. It's a good thing that I'm not going to be using those sleeves for anything today. If you hear that weird noise in the background, it's just my Skype buddies. And either way, it's not like it matters. I don't know why I keep doing that. But you can pin, and see, this shirt is a little bit longer than my template, which is fine because I like the bags to be bigger, which is where it really helps to be a big girl, because then you got big girl clothes, which means you're going to tote a big girl bag when you get through with this. So I love that. But what you'll do, just follow the guide. This shirt is like a template in and of itself, so I really don't need a template. But for those shirts that are not like that, you just take one of these shirts, trace it, and then get a shirt that's not so uniform, like a dress shirt or something like that, and do your project that way. But since this one is already pretty much cut out, you know, I'm going to go ahead and put that up there and start the cutting process. Now, the plunge in the neckline here is semi-deep. You could just trace this, but it's not going to leave a lot of room to put things into your bag. And whenever I go shopping or something like that, like if I'm at Aldi's, or I'm sorry, Aldi's, I always say it wrong, but it's because I like Aldi, saying Aldi better. But if I'm at Aldi's, then it's time for me to bag up my groceries. I want to have a big mouth on my bag. So I'll be cutting way down here somewhere. But first, just go ahead and start with the sleeves. And like I said, the stitches here is your guide. There's really no way to screw this part up. Oh, unless you're cutting with the wrong scissors. I need to switch my scissors, but instead of doing that, I'll just try from a different angle. Yep, see, it worked. I'm still going to switch scissors. So let me grab my other scissors. I'll go ahead and start cutting away the sleeve so you can see what it looks like. A good crafter would actually pin the shirt together. Okay. But like I said, this bag is going to be just a slouchy, fun bag for kids to play with. It does not have to be perfect. But what you would do is, if you were doing this professionally, or you know, somebody asked you to make a bag, of course you're going to go the best route possible, and you're going to be as neat as possible. So you would pin the edges of the shirt. You would pin down these sleeves so your shirt doesn't slide so much. You're going to stick pins everywhere that you possibly can so that you can get a nice even cut. But like I said, to me, these shirts are really, these kind of bags are really forgiving. So if you have a jagged edge, or if you're not perfectly even, it really does not matter in my book. But I'm all for imperfections. I like imperfections. I would be great on the island of misfit toys, I'm telling you. People would love me. So, I'm going to start the curve here. And let me just have this little bitty piece to bring it on around. There we go. So, now we have what looks like a little tank top with really ugly cutting. and a big old neckline. And that's exactly what you want to have. And you can keep all these little pieces and do other little stuff where you can use them as patches. You can, on the first shirt that I showed you guys, the blue and white one, the sleeves and things like that can be used as holders. You can use them for pen holders. You can use them in travel for to hold your toothbrush and, you know, what do you call it? The tongue scraper, your flossing tool, and all that in there, nice and neat. I may actually do a video showing you guys how to do that here soon. But we are now ready for the sewing process. So it's just sewing and cleaning. Like, I still have this little edge here where my fabric moved because I didn't pin it. And that's fine. Easy fix. Get it. I'm only going to cut this part, so just come in and fix it. It's not hard. Not rocket science, and it's definitely not the end of the world. Just cut it off and be done with it. Alright. Now, we'll go ahead and start sewing. What you want to do is turn your shirt inside out, like with most sewing projects. And some of you who are, you know, just always sewing and crafting up something nice at home, you're going to be like, oh, why is she telling me this part? Well, everybody doesn't sew, so make sure you turn your shirt inside out. And you're going to sew, either hand sew or sew with your sewing machine, the bottom of this shirt together. You can use this stitch here as your guide if you want. This shirt is really, really loose and movable. Not all shirts are like that, of course. So, of course, you're going to want to pin. If you have a shirt like this, you're going to want to pin it so that you get a nice even stitch, if that's what matters to you. It doesn't really matter to me, so I'm going to wing it. But I'll go ahead and get this sewn together so you guys can see what the bag is going to look like. Alright, so we've got the bottom of the bag sewn, so then we'll flip it back the other way. So whenever someone sees your bag, what they see is an edge like this. Okay? Looks all nice and neat, and we still have the seam that was originally there from the shirt, so that works out really well. All the original stitching on the side. So you just have to sew this part. At this time, especially if you're doing a Halloween bag, this would actually be a really good time for you to come in before you fix any imperfections on the shirt. This will be a great time for you to come in, and you could take some felt and have the kids cut out little pictures of witches and cats and owls and just whatever you want to have pictures of, and go ahead and sew those to the front of your bag or to the back of your bag, whichever way that works, you know, for you. But you can decorate your bags, or you can just give the kids fabric markers and let them go to town drawing on the bags. So however you want to do it. You could also use that tie-dye method I did in another video with the permanent markers and the alcohol, I believe it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you can do like a tie-dye effect with, especially if you have like a white shirt that you're doing this project with. That'd be really cute to go ahead and decorate. Now, what I was saying about the imperfections is, if you notice here, like I said, somebody that was super neat would pin. I don't like to pin on all projects. A project like this, to me, I don't think you should pin it. But what I would do at this point is come back and fix it. Like I have this piece here. Of course I don't want that piece on there. So I would go through and I would trim it up and make it look nice and neat. And I would do that on both sides of the shirt. And see, since I didn't want this edge here, I probably just cut it all off, because that's what I did on this side. But, I mean, you can always leave it. It's solely up to you. But I would fix those edges and also kind of fix the middle. Now, with this type of material, because it's so loose and stretchy and airy, I would not suggest sewing the edge, because that would be just really tedious work for no reason. I also would not suggest hot gluing the edge. Again, tedious work for no reason. Plus, hot glue on a thin shirt like this would equal a lot of burns. And it would also make the fabric look really ugly. Okay? So, essentially, this bag is all done. Just trim it up, fix it up, make it look cute, like you normally would. But you have your bag. Okay? And you can put things in it. I'll put some things in it before the video's over. What I wanted to do with this bag right here is show you a few of the imperfections that I left in place so you can see it before I fix it. Which I will be fixing it on this bag, just because there are a couple of things that really work my nerves on this bag. Okay, and that's like here, for instance. So I'll come through, trim this up, all will be well in the world. Okay, and something else I wanted to show you. If you notice, my edges are not jagged here, and the reason why they're not jagged is because I hid that part. How? Under here, right? I can always come back and trim it, but with dress shirt type material, it cuts very easily. So I really wouldn't suggest doing that. But what I did, if you notice, it's not sewn. But the edges look very crisp and clean as long as you don't flip them over. But what I did here was I took the imperfect edges and I created a line, a bead line of hot glue. And then folded it down. And I did all the edges this way. The edges coming around the shirt where I cut that sleeve off. Back here on the back end of the shirt as well as on the front of the shirt. Here, I did not do a neat stitch, but I just really stitched it because I wanted you guys to be able to see it. I just sewed, and that's why I left the black thread in also. I do have more than black and white thread. But with the thread, I just sewed this up so that you can always undo the buttons, but it really won't matter. You see? I only sewed it up because I don't want things falling out of the bag. Because like I said, I'll probably use this for my trips to Aldi's. And I don't want my fruits and vegetables falling out of this bag, because this is what this bag will be used for. Also, I kept the pocket on this shirt. And the reason why I kept the pocket is because I like to have somewhere to put my keys. So I'll drop the keys in here and go shopping with my little grocery bag. So, we've got 2 bags here. Also, my daughter came up with a really good idea. One thing was for your sleeves, especially on a really stretchy shirt like this one. If you're dealing with the t-shirt, her suggestion was to use the sleeves as a headband. And like she's actually got one tied up on her head right now. But all she did was take and fold it in. You can always sew it and make it look perfect if you want to. But you could always just fold it without doing any kind of sewing if you want to give these to your little girls. If they're tiny girls and you don't want them on a sewing machine or with the needle and thread in their hand, you can give them the sleeve, have them put it around their hair. They can tie it up in the back. They've got a cute headband that'll match their cute little bag. Also, for the collar portion of the t-shirt, I'm going to ask you guys what you guys think she might have said about this. I'm going to lay it here, and I know that you're going to get it as soon as I lay it out. But voila! With the little trimming, little stitching together, you got a nice cute little bib. You could put little designs here for the baby. And once it gets all worn out and raggedy, you don't feel bad about throwing it away. So, you got a bib, 2 headbands, and a bag that cost you thread and time. So see you guys next week. And we do have a Halloween series coming up. Really not even a series. I'm going to try and pack a whole lot of Halloween party planning tips into one video. So please be on the lookout for that. And I'll see you guys I'll see you guys Friday if you follow me for my weight loss. So see you Friday. If not Friday, next week.